If you've ever wondered how to make restaurant quality blackened catfish at home, then stick around, because this video today is going to be for you. Welcome back to the Bark and Bite, everybody. My name is Brandon Baker of Black Dog Barbecue, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make one of my all-time favorite meals, which is blackened catfish with a salsa fresco. In addition to that, I'm teaming up with Charbroil Grills today to show you how to make this dish using their griddle insert on their Pro Series gas grill. Once we're done with that, I'm also going to show you how I clean my griddle to make sure that it's in tip-top shape each time I want to use it. Catfish is perfect for blackening. It's a mild fish, but it also cooks really fast and takes on a lot of flavor. Now, there's a couple factors to keep in mind to make sure you get the end product that you're looking for. First off, you want to make sure you're cooking with a hot griddle. The surface needs to be really hot before you even get the fish onto the cooking surface. That's one of the reasons that making this on a griddle is so ideal, because it's so easy and so quick to get that cooking surface to those higher temperature levels. Now, you also want to make sure that you're seasoning that catfish very well. This can be very liberal. That seasoning is what's going to give that exterior crust to the fish, which gives a really nice texture plus some excellent flavor. Now, the third factor that we want to consider is to make sure that we're getting butter on the griddle before the fish goes on. And that seems pretty straightforward, right? But we want to make sure that we're doing that because, number one, that's going to give some additional flavor to the fish, and it's also going to help that crust on the fish, along with that seasoning, make sure that it develops the way that you want it to. And the last factor to consider is to make sure that once that fish hits the griddle, don't touch it for a few minutes. Letting it sear untouched is one of those factors that's going to help get that crust to where you want it to be. Now, after a couple minutes, of course, you can take a peek, but you do want to make sure that you're giving it enough time so that it can get that nice crispy exterior. Now, I always like to start this recipe by making the salsa fresca, which sounds fancy, but really it's very similar to pico de gallo. The reason that I like to do that is that gives me time to put this in the fridge while we're dealing with the catfish so that those flavors can meld and gel together, which is just going to make it that much better. So right now, I'm just going to break out those ingredients so we can get that prepped and ready to go. Now, whenever I make this, I always start with the tomatoes first. And the reason being is I'm going to dice and de-seed these. And after that, I'm also going to sprinkle some salt on top. That's going to help to pull out some of that moisture so that the salsa doesn't get too runny or watery. And that right there is by far the most time-consuming part of this entire cooking process. So now I'm going to chop up the rest of the vegetables, get them in here with the tomatoes, and then throw this in the fridge while we work on that catfish. I am going to be taking the seeds out of these jalapenos today. Sometimes I'll eat them, sometimes I don't. I just don't want all the spice today, and my wife may be eating these, and I know she doesn't like those. I think that is enough red onion. I'm gonna start with half a lime. If I need to add the other half, I will, but I want to start on the lighter side first. Let's get a little honey. Now, we don't really want the honey for the sweetness. It's more kind of to balance out the flavors that are here, so the acidity of either the lime juice or the tomatoes themselves don't really overpower the salsa. So I'm just gonna put just a smidge in here. Lastly, we got some olive oil. Now we're just going to mix all that together. There's one other ingredient I forgot, garlic, so I'm going to go run in, grab some real quick, and that's going to go in here as well. I'm just going to put 1 clove of garlic, so quick and simple. All right. That's going to be really good. And I forgot to mention it, but this whole recipe for the salsa fresco will be in the caption, so don't worry. I'm going to have everything spelled out because I know I didn't necessarily spell it out in the video, so just keep an eye out because I will have it there so that you can copy and paste and you can make this at home. That being said, I've made a mess here now, so I'm going to clean all this up and then I'm going to get this in the fridge. This right here is our catfish fillets. These are super easy to find at the grocery store. Honestly, this is one of those fish that I see all the time. I've always gotten it when I was younger, and it also happens to be a lot cheaper. So how we're going to be seasoning this today, I mentioned we're going to be blackening it, right? You can get your own blackening seasoning at the store. It's super simple, but you can also make your own, which is what I'm doing here today. I've got a variety of spices here. As you can see, we've got paprika, we've got red pepper, we got salt, pepper, white pepper, herbs. There's a lot going on right here. And if you're curious, I'm going to have the entire recipe as well as with that salsa fresca in the caption. So just make sure to take a look at that if you want how I made this here today. But I'm simply going to mix this up, spread it very evenly over the fish on both sides to make sure we get that even coat and get these on the griddle. Flip these over and do the exact same thing. And just like that, the fish is ready to go. I'm going to go get these on the griddle now. Time for the fish. All right, it's been about 8, maybe 10 minutes now that these have been on the griddle, and they are good to go. I just temped them, and they are all registering right about 145 degrees as where I wanted them. So now I'm going to get the spatula. I'm just going to take these off the griddle and from back for a couple minutes. Now that we've taken off the catfish, it's time to clean up this griddle. And as you can see, it's gotten quite messy during that cooking process. So we're going to give this a good clean. I'm going to show you exactly how you can do that, whether it's this griddle, whether it's the one at home. Doesn't matter what brand it is, really. You want to make sure that you know the key steps to cleaning it well so you can make it last as long as possible, prevent rust, and prevent any other, wear and tear issues from popping up. So really, this can be broken down into a few key phases. First off, you see we've got a good bit of debris on here from where we were cooking that catfish. So just going to zoom in for a second. Got a lot of stuff like this right here, as you can see here on the screen, that's building up on top of the griddle grates. We want to get all that clean. So I'm going to zoom back out here for a minute so you can see the rest of the griddle itself. And so what I am going to do here is you want to make sure that griddle is still on and hot. That's going to make cleaning this super easy. If your griddle is cold, it's going to be much more difficult to clean it and you're not going to be able to do as good of a job. So leave that heat on once you're done cooking so that you can very quickly and easily clean that griddle. And so what I am going to do here is you want to get one of these griddle scrapers. This is going to be key. So, you could use a spatula for some tasks in terms of cleaning a griddle, but you're not going to be able to get into all these different cracks and crevices really at the corners. And that's really why this is so beneficial. Besides the fact that it's thin, it can get underneath all of this stuff. So you want to have this. The second thing that I'll say as well, you want to make sure you got a roll of paper towels, and I would say a trash bag right next to you to make sure that you can keep all those clean and tidy. So once you're prepped and ready to go with your griddle cleaning supplies, you can really break down the actual cleaning of the griddle into 3 phases. Number 1, just debris removal. And that's, again, where this comes in. So I'm just going to very coarsely take off as much of this debris as I can. Once I've done that, I'm going to push it down into the chute, and then I'm going to get a glass of water and I'm going to pour that on top. That's going to be key because that glass of water, pouring that onto the griddle surface really helps to take up any grease that we missed for the most part. And so it's going to evaporate here on the griddle surface and just help to get rid of that excess debris. Once we've done that, once we get everything good to go, then I'm going to take some oil, spray it on top to re-season the griddle surface. It's really that easy. So I'm going to show you exactly how I'm going to do that process here on my griddle. All right, so check out down here. Can you see how much gunk we were able to get on that first go around? The rest of the griddle, as you can see here, we've gotten a lot off. There's still room to go in terms of cleaning it. So that's why we're going to bring that water to kind of help with that process for the next step. Now, as you can see, we just got a lot more debris off the griddle. I'm going to do one more pass. And one thing you may have noticed, I'm just doing a little bit of water at a time. I don't just want to flood the griddle, but I'm going to essentially this time just put a little bit on so that I can soak up the corners here with a paper towel to make sure I get the rest of this debris. Try and get in these corners the best that I can here. I was able to get them pretty good. I just want to make sure I get everything. All right, now as you can see, we just added the water to the griddle. We've cleaned this up. We've got all the debris off. So now it's just time to add the oil, but it's looking really nice and clean right now. And once we get a coat of oil on there, it's going to look even better. Now, the main key with your oil here is you just want to use something that's a high heat oil. So something with a higher smoke point. Most of the time I use Pam spray just because it's easy. It's got canola oil blend, which is on the higher side. It's not the highest. If you can get an avocado or grapeseed oil, that's even better, but this is super convenient, so I find myself using it a good bit, and it does a nice job. Probably didn't need quite that much oil. That's fine. I'm going to get a paper towel at the end after we let this cook on for a few minutes to make sure I get any excess residue that's on here from the oil. All right, the oil's had a few minutes to adhere to the griddle, so now I'm just taking a paper towel to wipe up any excess oil that we had here on the grates. All right, so the oil is now at time to adhere to this griddle surface, and as you can see, it is looking very nice, clean, and ready to go for the next time we want to use it. And it is really as simple as that. All right, guys, so you just saw me clean the griddle, and now I've plated our catfish with that salsa fresca as well as some grits that I made as well. The catfish was super quick and easy to make on the griddle. Probably took no more than 10 minutes overall. That salsa fresca, you could serve it immediately, but I put it in the fridge for about 30 minutes. All in all, it's a 30-minute meal that's perfect for a weeknight and packs a ton of flavor. So that being said, I'm going to go ahead and give it a try. Got to get some of these grits too. I wish you guys could taste what I'm tasting because, man, this is Absolutely incredible. I absolutely love that blackening seasoning on the catfish. It just goes so well, especially paired with that salsa fresca. And that wraps up today's video. And as always, if you guys got some value out of this, make sure to give it a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and continue to follow along for more grilling recipes as well as how-to tips as well. But until next time, happy grilling.